Hi guys, and welcome back to our tutorial series. I believe last time we left off we just created a scope for our gun, and if I run the game, I believe it was something like this. Yeah, we just had a camera in front of the scope, and every time we press and hold our right mouse button it would zoom in, and if we release it, it would zoom back out. But the thing was, I don't like the way it's done because of this reason. You can keep doing this. I'm just gonna sort it out today. I'm gonna be teaching you how to do this using the field of view, and by using that we no longer need our scope camera recreated. So just either turn it off or delete it, and go to your main player and turn off the scope script because it's not going to be used anymore. Okay, first of all, let's create a new JavaScript. Let's rename this to scope FOV. Stands for field of view. Now before I do get started, I just want to check my main camera's field of view. At the moment it's 32. I'm going to reset that to its default 60, and I'm just going to replace the gun. That seems to be okay. Just gonna save that off. Let's get started. Open your scope FOV script in develop. Right, the first thing we want to do is define some variables. We're gonna need a variable that says how much you want the field of view to go in. So we're gonna say public var FOV field of view in. We're gonna set it as a float, and it's gonna be equal to 35 for now. Next we're gonna create the speed it zooms in, so public FOV speed, we're going to set it as a float. It's going to be equals to 5 for the time being. We also want a boolean like we did before to check if aim is false or true. So public aim equal not, we're going to define the boolean. It's going to be equals to false with the default value. Save your script because you can never be sure when your computer crashes. We also need our default field of view, so we're going to use that for whenever we run the program, or not a program, our game. It's going to automatically pick our field of view position that it was in. So if we zoom in, it changes, and then we're going to use the default to set it back to its original position. It will be a bit more, it will be explained a bit more when we get into the coding. So I'm just going to call it public DFF FOV default field of view. It's going to be a float, and close it off and save it. Also we need a variable to hold our camera, so we're telling it it's going to be using this camera's field of view to zoom in. So public var cam game object. I forgot to put the var in front of this. Save that off, minimize it, I go to Unity, sorry. Attach this script to the main player. Oh, forgot the var over here as well, and the aim. Yep, it's updated, good. Drag the main cam onto the cam variable, save your game, and let's go start coding this. So how would this work? Well, basically, first of all, we're going to check to see if the player hits the right input button again. So let's just start with that. So we need an if statement. If input dot get mouse button down is 1, which is the right key. What do we want to do? We want to set the aim boolean to be equal true. So we're gonna say aim equals true. Now we also want, if we release the mouse button, we want to set it back to false. So we go down here, put another if statement. If input dot get mouse button up 1, we're gonna set it back to false. Aim equals false. Now we're gonna start using the field of view. So we said if we click the right mouse button in, we want to set it to true, and if we release it, it's going to set it back to false. Now we're going to start checking it. So we're going to say if aim, if put an apostrophe sign and then aim. That means basically at the top we said it's set to false, and the not is checking to see if it's not false anymore, and it's going to put it as true. So instead of us writing this every time, aim equals true, we can just do that. So if the false value is no longer true, we wanted to do something. And now we're going to start playing around with the camera field of view. So we're going to say cam, which is a variable we stored above, dot camera dot field of view, and we're going to say it's equal to mathsf dot lerp open bracket camera cam dot camera dot field of view, how much we want the field of view to zoom in, which is FOV in. So FOV, how fast we want it to zoom in, which is FOV speed, and we're going to times that by time dot delta time. We're going to close that off, save it, and now we're going to do the same thing for the false value. So let's make a new if statement. If open bracket, close bracket, open curly brace, and close curly brace. Right. If aim if it's still false, we want to put cam dot camera dot field of view equals matf dot lerp cam dot camera dot field of view, and this time we're not gonna zoom in, we're gonna zoom back to the default position. So we're gonna use our default variable, which was DFF FOV, and we're gonna times that by the forward speed as well, so it zooms out using the speed which was used for the forward, which was used for zooming in. So FOV speed and times that by time dot delta time again. Save that off, make sure all the brackets are in the right place. Yep. Now before we do start checking if it works, we need to do one more thing. We have to go to the top and create a new function start. You can do this in the wake as well. Basically, as soon as it starts, we want to pick our default position. So we say DFF default equals cam dot camera dot field of view. So it's picking our field of view at the moment, what it is. So when it zooms in, it changes to 35, and if we release it, it's going to set it back to our default position, which was 60. So we save it. Alright, let's test it out. Okay, let's run it. Oh. It's working, but it's doing the complete opposite. I think I've set the booleans the wrong way around. So let's just go here. Let's remove this and put this here, see what happens. Yeah, there you go. That works perfectly. There you go. We have our zooming in, our scope zoom using field of view, and this is how they use it in the game industries. As you can see, it looks a lot more smoothed, and it zooms in and it pans out smoothly as well. But you may be thinking, hold on, it's good and all, but the gun stays in the same position. How do we sort that out now? Well, that's pretty simple as well. All you need to do is get a scope animation, so your player's main position, arm position, just zooms in front of the face, and then we do the camera zoom in effect, and if we release it, it plays the ideal animation for the arms. I will be covering that in future tutorials as well. It won't be a long time, it will be really soon. And yes, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this tutorial, and I hope you learned something new. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to rate, comment and subscribe. Take care.